Hey, so let's talk about the roll edition of the new record, Rock and Roll Will Save Us All, coming out on November 7th. So, as you know, we're doing this record on vinyl, CD, and cassette. And here's the thing, is vinyl takes a while, right? So, these things kind of come in phases, and so I'm sitting around hanging out, UPS guy shows up with a box of CDs. Awesome, this is the first format I get in my hands of the new record. And stoked to check it out. I rip open the box and grab a CD, put it in, the music's going awesome. And then I look down at the spine, I was like, oh man, crap. And so I don't know if you can see that there, but yeah, there's a typo, and it says Rock and Rockle, R-O-C-L-L. And I was like, well, that's not good. And I look at the rest of the box of all the CDs, got 250 of these, and they all say Rock and Rockle Will Save Us All. Well, crap, that's not the name of their new record. It's not Rock and Rockle Will Save Us All. And started thinking, I'm like, man, I sure hope that same typo isn't on the vinyl jackets as well, because I happen to know that the spine asset that ended up on the CD was derived from the vinyl. So here's the thing is, I had this awesome giant proof of the vinyl design printed out before it got sent off to the printers, just to make sure everything was great. So I can't even tell you how much time I spent staring at this thing, just scrutinizing every pixel and making sure everything just looked awesome. And I actually did find a couple things through this, but sure enough, Rock and Rockle on the vinyl. So, oh crap, this is not fun. You know, we're what, like a month and a half, 2 months out from the record release, and there's a typo. So I try to stop the presses, right? Like this gold foil, this beautiful gold foil vinyl jacket's being printed. I don't want this thing to be tarnished by anything. You know, no typo is going to get in the way of a good time of rock and roll, right? So I make the call. I'm like, hey, I know I approved the proofs here, but I just found something on the CDs. What can we do? Sorry, ship has sailed. This thing's already getting stamped out. It's getting done. So. All right, deep breath. What are we gonna do here? So if you know anything about me and my music, you know, rock and roll is rock and roll, baby. Like sometimes things just don't go the way that you planned during a show. You know, a pedal doesn't turn on, or a guitar cable screws up, or whatever. Man, you just go with it. It's like it's all about the music and celebrating and being this together. So cool enough on this design. Let's see if you can see this. The side one. Side 2, that's actually this cool variant of this typewriter font that has the pound sign. You know, it's kind of a classic. Anyone who's used a typewriter, which most of us have, know that, you know, when you hit the wrong stroke in the middle of a page, you're kind of like, oh crap, you grab the white out, you grab the little pencil, but sometimes you just stamp that puppy out and there you go. So that's what I did. I went through each record and I hand wrote out the pound sign over that C. So the story continues because these things, these CDs, they come shrink wrapped, right? So, oh man, I'm gonna have to undo all the shrink wrap in all these. Luckily, the vinyl was kind of off on its own path, and so I was able to kind of get ahead of that one and be like, hold on, we're not gonna shrink wrap anything. Like, forget shrink wrap. And hey, here's my thing, is like, we all know the feeling of sitting here trying to go, oh man, you're at a show, you want to get that artist to sign it, and hey, does anyone have a key or something I can use to jam this thing open with? And sure enough, I think I found a capo here that might do the job. Yeah, so finally get that thing going, and all this time sitting here fighting with this thing, getting the shrink wrap, just so it can end up in a landfill. And you have this wad of trash you're trying to find something to do with. So, okay, shrink wrap gone. So we're not shrink wrapping any of this. I'm pulling the shrink wrap off of all these CDs. Okay, so now here's the deal, is we have a raw CD. Well, hey, I'm looking at the CD now. I'm like, we got this awesome picture of Casey, Luke, and I on the back. Man, we're gonna sign that picture. We're gonna number all these. I mean, there's 250 of them. I can number 250 records, no big deal. You know, it'll take a little bit of time, but it's kind of the opportunity to go through and stamp out that C on every single one, touch every single one of these records. And the story evolves because I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do that much, if I'm gonna basically take this thing, open all these CDs, now here's an opportunity, right? I don't know if you can see that, but like the spine on these CDs is actually a little thicker than usual, you know, fold out wallets, right? So I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. That gives me a little space to do something extra. So what are we going to do with that? I had this cool idea of adding a booklet, right? So a cool CD booklet we all know, and cool picture, track listing. You know, we all, man, I remember the days, and I still do this. Put on a disc, you sit there and you just like read along, look at the booklet, look at the pictures, whatnot. So you've seen the flash tattoo art insert we have with the vinyl. So here is all of the artwork for each song. So it's the flash tattoo that I had Penny Pine, the artist, convert to the style of the Phoenix on the front. And so there's every single piece of flash tattoo art. And this is the only way that you're going to get your hands on this artwork in this print form from this release, is to actually get this version of the CD with the booklet. And then, okay, let's take it one step further, man. We got the roll, right? So what can we do with that? Well, if you've come to see us play at a show, you know that we love to kind of mix it up and do things differently, and there's a little bit different energy to these songs on stage than you're gonna hear on a studio record. Love the studio version, but man, I'm a big fan of live music, and I'm a big fan of live bootlegs. I love to go on just hunting to find bootlegs from some of my favorite bands. And sure, you know, I like the ultra produced off the mixing board, someone's gone off, has completely, you know, dressed it up and everything. You know, I love those recordings, sure. But we take this thing to every single show we play, and this is a stereo, really nice stereo recorder. Put this puppy up on the front of house sound booth to capture the recording. And I do this because I want to capture that moment in time, what happened on stage that night, all the warts and all, the fun, the energy, the interaction with the crowd. I live for that. That's a big reason why I do this, why we get in the car and we travel to these shows and play them and connect with all of you. What better way to make this part of the release than have the bootleg CD, right? So this is 9 tracks that were all performed in the last, man, I mean, one of them was as recently as September. I think one of these was actually performed after I discovered this mistake. And these 9 tracks are songs that appear on the record, as well as some others from the catalog that are really kind of favorites of ours to do on stage. All around the state of Michigan, from Grand Rapids, kind of getting that Metro Detroit area, Lansing. Have some pictures from each of those shows, kind of showing off what the moment was like. So this is going to be the CD version of the record. You're going to get, not shrink wrap, but I'm putting them in these really nice archival grade collector bags to seal it, and they're resealable, which is really kind of a nice way to keep everything together. So signed, numbered, in the bag. It's going to come with, obviously, the CD, so the Rock and Roll Save Us All CD. But it's also going to come with this nice booklet that has the art and lyrics, as well as the bootleg information, and then the bootleg CD. I had our disc manufacturer make 250 of these, and that's it. Limited edition, the roll edition of the CD. And then in each one, I actually wrote a letter kind of about this, about the sentiment, the attitude, and really that idea of not holding anything too sacred, because like shit happens, life happens, mistakes happen, and yeah, it's a seemingly insignificant one typo on the spine. I mean, I could think of a million things that would have been far worse to have happen as errors in the making of this record. But still, it just stung. It's kind of like that. It's like when you're ready to go out on the town and you like discover a big zit on your face or something. You're like, all right, well, I guess I'm blemish and all tonight. So the benefit of this, though, is you got a little extra punch out of the CD version, which I'm really excited about. And in fact, that's kind of what's cool about this release in the end, is every single version is going to have a little bit different wrinkle, right? The CD is going to have that live bootleg, as well as that booklet with the special art that's nowhere else. It's derived from the Flash tattoo art, but it's kind of its own thing that the artist put together for us on that. And so really excited about that. And it's gonna every single vinyl, both the standard and deluxe edition as well as CD, is gonna have that letter in it, and I'm signing all those letters. So I'm getting a lot of practice on my signature here. And what else? Oh yeah, so in the name of forget the shrink wrap, every single record is going to come in this really nice archival grade bag. This is going to be like for all you serious record collectors when you're like, man, I need some like way of storing my record collection, keeping it nice and safe. And this is really cool because, I mean, you can still feel that gold texture through it, but it keeps it nice and protected. Signing every record, numbering every record. There you go. So yeah, that is the Roll Edition, and really stoked to share it with you. And that's going to be the first run, the first pressing of this record, of this package. Again, like I said, with that bootleg CD, I don't plan on doing any more copies of these, so I have what I have. Grab them. They're really cool. It's a live bootleg, right? So you're going to hear the room, you're going to hear what went down at that moment in time with those songs. So again, thanks for being here. Thanks for rock and rolling with us. And to paraphrase the words of the great Keith Richards, everybody's talking about the rock, but no one's talking about the roll. So check you later. All right, bye.